Now it's serious. It wasn't always that way, but it is now. In the beginning, when Jesus invited different people to follow him, people that he didn't have any particularly strong connection with, it was a trial basis. You know how it is when you're kind of testing something out, when you're experiencing something in the very beginning. You can pursue it further, or you can let it go. Nothing much lost. But they have now spent a lot of time together. He has invested in them, and they have continued to stay with him and to give more and more, not only of their time, but also of their attention, of their interest, of themselves. And so now it is serious. And you may reflect upon times in your life when you got serious. At a certain point in your life, there were all these different possibilities that were open to you for professional pursuits. And you could go in this direction, and you could go in that direction, and you tried a little of this, and you dabbled in that, and you did something for a little while, but it wasn't really serious. It was just a paycheck. But at some point, for some, there's this decision that is made. This is the direction I'm going to go. This is how I'm going to pour myself into this pursuit, and I'm going to give of my professional developing self to this career. Or perhaps a better example is in relationship. You meet somebody, you kind of like that person, you're going to spend more time with them. You're going to see where it goes. Maybe it'll go up. Maybe there won't be a connection. But in the beginning, anything is possible. And at some point in time, it occurs to one of the people, usually not both at the same time, maybe this is the one. Maybe this is the commitment that I want to make. Maybe I want to hitch my wagon onto the train of this person, and I want to go with them. I want to be with them. I want to not be with anybody else. And you make that commitment, and there's an excitement to it, and there's a scariness to it, and there's a sense of possibilities of going deeper and building a life together, but there's also the realization there's not going to be anybody else. Or at least that's the hope. And so that's what has happened in this gospel passage. And we know that this has happened because of the language that Jesus is using. This isn't flirtatious language. This isn't, well, let's give it a try and see what happens language. Jesus says, this is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. What would happen when you're in that beginning stage where you're just kind of trying something out to see how it goes, and whoever's on the other side of that endeavor says, I command you? Can't talk to me like that. Or command me to do anything. I'm the one who's deciding about this. You're not telling me what to do. You're not the boss of me. And Jesus says, this is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. It's serious. They're in a place where one person can speak in that way, not out of bossiness, but out of a sense of, we're here now. And the next place that we get to go is deeper. So I'm going to give of myself fully in a way that you don't give of yourself when the relationship is casual. That you love one another as I have loved you. You give to each other in that same deep way. This isn't a transactional friendship. This isn't something where there's just a narrow little bit of affinity. This is my pickleball friend, but I don't know anything else really about them. And for the most part, I don't really care about them. But they're fun to play pickleball with. No. This is love one another as I have loved you. This is serious. And then he goes on to say, I have said these things to you so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. Contemplate that for just a second. Your joy may be complete. What is that kind of joy? Have you ever felt that kind of joy? Maybe temporary moments of happiness, maybe mountaintop experiences that were really lovely and delightful, and then it kind of faded and other things happened. But joy that is complete, that sounds serious. That's something that I would like to know more about. That's something I would like to go deeper into this relationship in order to be able to pursue. You have said these things to me. What things were those again? If I can get complete joy out of it, I don't want to let those pass me by. I don't want to have heard that 18 months ago and thought, oh, that's kind of interesting, and then had it kind of slip out of my mind. Tell me again, what were those things that you said to me? I want that complete joy. That's serious. And then at the end, you did not choose me, but I chose you, and I appointed you to go and bear fruit. Remember when you said, come and follow me? And the way I remember that story is, I thought, what am I doing this Tuesday? Yeah, nothing really that significant. Yeah, sure, I'll come and see what happens. I thought I chose you. You chose me. Let me rethink this. How did that work? What did you see in me? Why did you choose me? What has happened since then that you have continued to choose me, even though there's been some disappointing moments that have happened so far? But you continue to choose me, and you appointed me to go bear fruit. There's some kind of expectation in this relationship, but an expectation not of what I'm going to do for you, but what your investment in my life will produce in the world, that I will go and bear fruit. That's serious. And so there's all these cues as we get towards the end of the Gospel of John, of Jesus saying, what we have shared together, this wasn't a temporary relationship, the kind where you know somebody for a season of time and you enjoy some few things together and then your lives diverge and things move on and you say that you're going to keep in touch even though both people know that probably won't happen. This is serious. And what he is saying to them is, I want you to realize the extent, the depth, the breadth, the possibilities that are in store for you if you continue to hold on to the things I have told you, to the commandments that I have given you, to the knowledge that I saw in you before you even knew me at all. What could come to be? Don't miss those things. Don't take them casually. Don't treat them as a side hobby. This relationship is serious. And so I invite you to think about the journey of your faith. I invite you to think about the very first time that you became aware of something called Christian faith. And for some of you, it's not a memory because it always was. For others of you, you came into faith at a time later on in life, at least a time when you could think about it or have some sense of contemplation about whether you wanted to go deeper in it or not. But in the beginning, it was something that there was still a whole lot of possibilities about. Maybe I'll pursue this a little bit further. Maybe I'll find out more what it's about. Maybe I'll try this prayer thing. I don't know. Other people say that they get something out of it. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll go into these things called scriptures, called the Bible, and pay attention to those stories and see if there's any wisdom or connection in it for me. Some people say that they get a lot out of it. I don't know. But all of these steps along the way of coming step by step into the possibility of a relationship with God through Christ is a parallel journey with Jesus' first disciples. And while we can confidently say that the words that Jesus used for those first followers of his, I chose you, you did not choose me, can also apply to our lives. Nevertheless, it matters greatly what you choose, what you have chosen, and what you continue to choose to this day. Is it serious? Is it kind of casual? Is it, God, if I really get into the soup and I have exhausted all other possibilities that are within my power, then I'll let you know? Is it, God, you and me from the very beginning, when I wake up in the beginning of the day, God, guide my feet and my words and my actions so that my life might bear fruit to you? Where is it? And what do we want? And do we hear any echoes of Jesus' words from this passage from the latter stages of John in our own lives? That we have been chosen, that we have been commanded, not arrogantly or bossily, but lovingly, and that what is in store for us is to go deeper into a relationship that can become for us complete joy. These are not ancient promises that are out of context in an ancient time. These are words for you and me, those of us who would take the risk of calling ourselves Jesus' disciples, who would make the commitment that would center our attention and our love on the one sent into the world by God to change relationship with humanity. This is an ongoing offer and an invitation and an ongoing possibility for us to experience that thing that seems hard to imagine. I have said these things to you so that my joy may be in you and so that your joy may be complete. It would profit us to wonder this afternoon and into this week, what are those things that you've said to me? Can you remind me again? Because I want that complete joy. I want it for my own life and experience. And I want to be able to bear fruits that radiate that kind of joy so that others might come to know you as well.